And then last weekend we went to a christening in Newcastle. We drove up there on Saturday and drove back on Sunday. That was a mission and a half.
That's quite, yeah, you need to do in between, really, don't you?
Yeah. I like the bit where Sarah had to say, because Sarah was godmother in this, and she had to reject Satan.
Reject Satan. Oh. You've got to take it seriously, haven't you? That's the problem. That's embarrassing.
That's a heavy thing. I'm going to reject Satan. Do you reject Satan?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The music's pretty good, though. Well, I mean, I have to do these things every year. I have to do these things, particularly at Christmas, and you've got to treat it as a sort of. And if you go into like some natives in some lost valley or something, and you've got to join in with their rituals, and it's just bizarre. Dance around the fire like this or something, you know, and you treat it as a sort of fun, enjoying the local customs kind of thing. Because you have to embrace the ridiculousness of it.
I actually going to Italy because obviously it's very traditional there.
The second most Catholic country in the world.
Is that after Ireland?
Yes.
But actually, the ceremony behind it I found really appealing. I'm like sort of like mega atheist. Yeah, but I actually really found some appreciation for it.
Yeah. I liked it, particularly. Well, that's interesting because it's particularly what do you call them? Bathing the babies, christenings. Yeah, that's it. They were my kids' christenings, but still, yeah, I found myself enjoying the ritual of it. Yeah. And so, yeah,
we happened to be there. We didn't know. I think it's called Corpus Christi. It's 40 days after the resurrection or Easter. Sort of thing, and they had
was when you went.
Yeah, there was a procession through Ravello,
right.
And it started at the cathedral, and they did this like floral thing on the floor. They put all petals out in a pattern sort of thing, and they had a band there, a brass sort of like a brass thing playing songs and that, and then they did this procession around Ravello and knocking on the doors of the churches, and then people would come out from the church and join the procession sort of thing, and there was like they'd do like a little prayer or something, or say some weird thing at every church, and it was just really, really nice. We went in the cathedral during the day to have a look around, and you could see it all there, all this sort of like history and bullcrap basically. And they started their spells off. There was like a woman speaking like for ages and ages, and you can see what they're doing. They're giving it meaning through, I don't know, through something that's quite, I wouldn't say magical sort of thing.
It's a ritual, isn't it?
It is a ritual, yeah.
And you do sort of mantras and things that people recognise, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Oh, that's something special, something weird's going on there. And yeah, we went out for pizza that night, and the procession just walked past sort of thing, and it was like, wow, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. All the kids were dressed as angels. It was like loads of angels and that was really nice. So yeah, I found a little bit of appreciation for the religious side of things.
Yeah.
Over there. Obviously, it doesn't change what I think about reality.
Well, yeah, if you don't think it's real, there's not much you can do about that.
It's quite cool.
And that is a weird thing, is that you know, you don't. I don't understand the notion of choosing to believe. You don't choose. You just don't believe. I don't believe. Sorry, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And yet there is a problem with the sort of if you're from an atheist, maybe an anti-theist point of view, that you don't think we should really have religion now. We could probably do away with it now. It would be a shame to lose some of that, the traditions and the rituals and all that.
I mean,
what happens if we can't just get rid of that? Can we just carry on doing it and pretend it's not? Stop pretending it's real.
There's a tendency to think, if you're an atheist, especially, I don't think it's so strong now. I mean, when the new atheist thing was all happening, there can be a tendency to think, wouldn't things be better if there was no religion? You know, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have that, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, and the more atheist countries, the more atheist they are, the happier everyone is, etc., etc. Isn't it? That's what's happening.
Yeah, but I mean,
who's got better places to visit? You know, Italy or Finland? You know, Finland's better, probably much happier, but
yeah, I mean, my thinking has changed on this in the last year or so.
Goodness me.
I'd say that actually one thing that we've done to ourselves, and this is like a politics thing, is we have we've separated ourselves from communities. You know, the disintegration of community is a source of angst for a lot of people. You think about elderly people, the epidemic of loneliness and what it's, you know, the effects it has on people. You know, if I read something recently, they did a test on people who were lonely. They did a random sample and they studied the people who were the most lonely, and they studied the sort of the hormones and stuff going on in their body. Actually, being lonely had a similar effect to being punched in the face by a complete stranger.
Goodness me.
That's stressful, yeah.
Yeah.
And people's there was a study on women with breast cancer, and people who reported that they had less personal contact with other people had more problems, illness problems, and less likely to
They haven't got well-being.
No, they haven't. You know, we are social animals.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, if you're a creature on the savannah, which comes back to the atheist thing, you know.
Yeah.
We're not created by God. We're basically people who have evolved to survive in groups.
Yes, we survive by working together.
Yeah. So if you are ostracised from the group or kicked out, that's an incredible stressful thing, because you're talking about your survival.
Yeah.
Your chances of survival on your own were a lot slimmer. So yeah, you can see that. But and religions do give you that kind of sense of community. There is an internal community there. It's all based around bullcrap. You know, is the artifice worth maintaining to give that?
Yes.
That's something that we've lost.
That's the problem. Yeah. I mean, do you remember we had this conversation a few weeks ago? Well, it was like a month ago, wasn't it? Because I'd gone somewhere in Manchester for work, and literally next to the place I had to go for this boring conference was the Coronation Street set, which is a big soap in the UK. It's like the biggest one. It's the longest running one anyway. We didn't go in, but you could see the set sort of sticking up the street, because it's a street, isn't it? So people watch it and they get their own community from it, of like the bit they're missing of this sort of small group of houses, which doesn't happen anymore. And we met these people hanging around the entrance, waiting for the famous people to come out to get signatures and all that. So I've met such and such. I've met Sheila. I don't know who that is. And yet I did know some of the people, because it goes so far back, Coronation Street. I actually know some of the characters from when I was a kid. But I really sensed from these people hanging around the gates that they were really needy, really sad individuals who had something missing straight away. Just by meeting them straight away, you could tell.
Well, I mean, the soap thing is a mass thing. Yeah, it's not. It's normal people watch soaps. Yeah, I think
we don't.
We're the fringe in the sense that we don't actively enjoy soaps.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you look at the viewing figures, and although they're not as big as they used to be, they're still the highest viewing figures, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, actually, she's got loads of friends, and
she does.
And she likes soaps.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she's got more friends than combined friends that we've got.
Yeah. On the atheist side of things, weird how we're ending here. I went to a funeral yesterday,
right?
And basically, one of the guys that worked with us died a couple of weeks ago, and it was his funeral yesterday. And you know, it was such a weird thing. It hadn't settled. I mean, I didn't know the guy particularly well. I mean, I worked with him obviously, but I mean, I work from home mostly, so I'd see him once a week, and I knew him historically, and he was a friend of the business. So I knew him quite well, but not that well, sort of thing. And it was so weird. It didn't really sink in until the hearse drove past, and suddenly I thought, flipping it. There's a box there, and he's in there, but he's not there.
Yeah,
it's so strange. It's sort of like,
it is quite profound, isn't it? Yeah. You think, well, they're not actually there, but that's them there.
But he's in there, but he's not there.
Yeah,
and it was really nice to see. I mean, obviously funerals are sad occasions, but it was quite a busy funeral. You know, it was standing room only.
Yeah,
sort of thing. You thought, God, if people, he probably didn't really. I mean, the amount of people that actually go to a funeral, probably a fraction of the people he knows sort of thing. People obviously haven't got time off work; they don't feel comfortable going, sort of thing. Whatever.
Yeah. You don't have to go.
And you think all these people,
yeah,
that have been affected by this one person, sort of thing. It's quite a it reminds you how sort of community based we are.
Yeah, and you don't realise
it.
You think, oh, that guy would have like 3 people at his funeral, and there's hundreds.
And it's also weird how it's like it's like a sieve almost. You suddenly realise. I mean, what you think of someone is constantly in flux. Yeah, so depending on your relationship, how long you've been seeing it, it has been since you've had some kind of interaction with them or whatever. If you've ever had an argy-bargy with them, and then suddenly they die, and it all solidifies into something you remember, and it seems to sieve out all the crap, and suddenly you're acutely aware of what that person was to you.
But only once they're dead. Too late.
It is weird, isn't it? You just think, oh, why couldn't
Yeah.
If we had that hindsight during every day with people, that guy you had an argy-bargy with, your Atari 2600.
Yeah.
You'd suddenly think, hang on. Maybe it wasn't that important.
Yeah. He probably thinks I hate him. But I wasn't even aware of being annoyed until what? And it's funny actually because somebody did die at work 2 years ago. I had to buy a pair of jeans to go to the funeral because it was dressed down. Don't wear a suit. Don't wear trousers. I didn't have. Actually, didn't have.
Doesn't own jeans.
I couldn't wear shorts. It was in the winter, so I had to buy some jeans. And I bought a David Bowie T-shirt actually because that was his favourite thing. And I remember before him because he was big on music. He had a bigger music collection than I did, and he liked similar things to me, but he had quite a broader taste, I think. But he liked all the prog and stuff. I used to get on with him, but didn't talk to him a lot. I remember having a couple of conversations about Bowie actually. But I always sensed I was kind of annoying. I remember saying to him, "Yeah, King Crimson now. I'm going to see them, but they're actually for the first time they're an old band playing the old hits." And I sensed his response. Yeah, I know. I thought, okay, I'm annoying. I better not talk to him. But it was only afterwards somebody told me he did struggle to make friends and sort of put 2 and 2. Oh, fuck's sake! It's too late. Yeah, it's exactly like you said. But another thing that's interesting about that, and we went to the funeral, and there was crowds of people for this guy, hundreds, and we couldn't fit in the chapel. So it wasn't a sad experience at all. It was really uplifting, But he wouldn't have been aware that he was that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Popular.
Similar to you, as I was saying, you don't have a real concrete concept of what someone actually is to you, and until that moment, they never have that sort of thing. They never.
It never happens. You can't do that. Yeah.
They never have that concept of what they mean. What they mean to people.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah. Yeah, but the other interesting on-topic thing about this guy was he was a big David Bowie fan, and we had various conversations about David Bowie. I remember I was in the staff room and I heard Aladdin Sane, the album, starting up. So went in and took the opportunity to talk about it, But there was another time just after Bowie died. It was all a bit strange about the album, Black Star, and the fact that nobody realised it was his swan song, and he was talking about dying and all this, and that was that's the conversation I had with him before he died. It was like 2 days later. Really creepy.
Spooky.
Really strange.
Spooky.
Yeah. That was a bit heavy. Bloody hell.
I was just going to say, Kev, have you been watching the World Cup?
No. Of course not. I'm keeping away from my parents' house because my mum's watching it.